Welcome to lecture series on optical fiber communications. In this video, we will see what is the definition of critical angle and the total internal reflection. Before seeing those two things, first of all, we require some basics of reflection and refraction. We will see those things and then we'll conclude the critical angle and total internal reflection. So that is in the first thing we'll see the critical angle in this video, and also we will see the total internal reflection definition and the concept. So first we'll see what is reflection. To understand this reflection, I am taking one glass material here. Just I am showing as a glass substance or medium which is having refractive index n1. I have taken the refractive index of glass is n1. I have using as a notation here. You know that one, the glass having refractive index around 1.3 or 1.35 around, and along with glass medium I am taking another medium here called air, which is having a refractive index n2. So up to now what we have discussed here, I have taken one material or one substance glass and I am naming n1 as its refractive index, and I am taking another medium air which is having refractive index n2. We know that one for a glass n1 refractive index is around 1.35 and air n2 refractive index is around 1, that is 1. So what is the meaning here? The glass is having high refractive index here. High refractive index indicates the speed traveling inside this glass is less when compared to the air. Air is having only 1 as a refractive index n value, and for glass it is 1.35. It indicates that glass is a denser medium and air is rarer medium. Why glass is denser medium is it is having high refractive index. High refractive index indicates that the velocity of light inside this glass is less when compared to the air. So glass is a denser medium here and air is a rarer medium, right? And to know the this one, I am just giving the refractive index definition. Refractive index n is equal to ratio of velocity of uh, velocity of light in vacuum or space divided by velocity of light in that material, that particular material, right? So now, so to understand this reflection and refraction process, first of all I have considered one glass material having refractive index n1 and air as another material having refractive index n2. Now what we are doing here is I am just marking the boundary separation between these two substances, air and glass. I am just drawing one thick black line which separates the boundary between the air and glass. So this thick black line indicates the boundary between the air and glass. So this is the material boundary we are saying in this video. If I am mentioning about the material boundary, means it is the material boundary which separates the two materials or substances, air and glass. Now I am drawing one perpendicular line or normal line to this material boundary here. So this dotted line is nothing but the perpendicular line or normal line to this material boundary we are writing. Now what we are doing here is we are incidenting a light ray into the glass, and that light ray is going to be strike at the boundary interface, right? So first of all I am incidenting one ray from the glass. Let us consider that the ray is incidenting in at the material boundary, right, with an incidence angle phi. Here phi is called incidence angle. It is nothing but the angle between the incident ray and the normal line. This angle is called incidence angle. So a ray is incident inside the glass with an incidence angle phi and hitting the material boundary. After hitting the material boundary, what will happen? Some part of the energy is going to be reflected back into the same medium, and some part of the energy is going to be refracted into the air. So to understand the reflection, I am not drawing the refracted ray here, just I am drawing the reflected ray here. Whenever a light ray is incident on the material boundary with some angle phi, incidence angle phi, incidence angle is nothing but the angle between the incident ray and the normal line. So when an incident ray is incident on the material boundary with some angle phi, then some part of the energy is reflected back into the same medium, This is the reflected ray. This is the incident ray and this is the reflected ray. Now important point you have to observe is the angle between the reflected ray and the normal line is, again I have written here, phi. What is the meaning here? That is, if the angle between the normal line and the incident ray, that is phi, it is nothing but the incidence angle, then the angle between the reflected ray and the normal line is same as the angle of incidence phi. This is the law of reflection. That is the point you have to understand here. So reflection means, so when light is incident on the material boundary, then some part of the energy is reflected back into the same material. There is nothing but the reflected ray or reflection. But the law of reflection states that if a light ray is incident with an angle phi, that is the incidence angle is phi, that is the angle between the normal line and the incident ray is phi, then it should be reflected into the same medium with an angle phi between the normal line and the reflected ray. So this is important point. Now if these two are phi, then let us consider the angle between the material boundary and the incident ray be theta. Let us consider theta, that is the angle between the incident ray and material boundary, theta. If it is theta, then because of these two angles are equal, then this angle can also be same as theta. Why? Because this angle is also same as theta. That is, what is the thing it is saying is the angle between the material boundary and the incident ray is equal to the angle between the reflected ray and the material boundary. That is another point. So law of reflection states two things here. One is, if an incident ray is hitting the material boundary with an angle phi, where phi is the angle between the incident ray and the normal ray, then that angle should be equal to the angle between the reflected ray and the normal line. That is, phi is equal to phi here. That is one definition. And the other definition is the angle between the material boundary and the incident ray is theta, then the angle between the reflected ray and material boundary is theta, then both are equal. That is, finally I am concluding the two statements. Angle between the incident ray and normal line is equal to the angle between the reflected ray and the normal line. That is one statement. Second statement is angle between the material boundary and the incident ray is equal to the angle between the material boundary and the reflected ray. That is the law of reflection. So I am giving the two statements here. The angle between the incident ray and the normal line is equal to the angle between the reflected ray and the normal line. That is one definition. Or we can say the angle at which the incident ray touches the material boundary is equal to the reflected ray is equal to the angle that the reflected ray makes with the same material boundary. So this is the law of reflection. Next we will see the refraction. So to understand this refraction, again I am taking the one glass material and one air and material boundary here and one normal line here. So now again I am transmitting some light ray into the glass and it is incidenting with an angle phi 1. Let us consider here. What is this one? Phi 1 is the incidence angle, which is the angle between the incident ray and the normal line. So whenever a light ray is incident at the material boundary with an angle phi 1, then some part of the energy is reflected and some part of the energy is refracted. So here I am showing only the refracted signal here. So then after hitting this one to the material boundary, then some part of the energy is going to be refracted, that is bending of light ray. So here I have drawn the I have given the angle as phi 2 here. What is this phi 2? Is nothing but the angle of refraction. So this is the refracted ray, this is the incident ray, and this is the refracted ray. The angle between the incident ray and the normal line is nothing but angle of incidence phi 1, and the angle between the refracted ray and the normal line is nothing but phi 2, which is called the angle of refraction. Now observe here carefully. See, the angle phi 2 is more. What is the meaning of more? Means here the ray is moving away from the normal. There is some large gap between this normal line and this ray, refracted ray. See, why I have drawn like this here is, see, glass is a denser medium and air is the rarer medium. Already we have discussed in the very beginning of the video. So when a light ray is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, then the ray will shifts away from the normal. Away from the normal. That is important point you have to observe here. Suppose I am increasing this angle, incidence angle phi 1 to this. So I am increasing here the phi 1. Then what will happen? Now the refracted ray moves away from the normal, still more away from the normal now. That is important point here. So that is based on the angle of incidence, the refraction angle is going to be varying. If you still increase this angle of incidence, then what will happen? This is going to be coincide with this material boundary. If you still increase, what will happen? Greater than that one, it will, the refracted ray is going moving towards into the glass. That is no refraction, only reflection is possible there. What I am saying is, if you still increase this phi 1 incidence angle more than this, then it is again moves away from the normal, and it will comes in parallel with the material boundary, this refracted ray. Even if you still increase more this phi 1 angle, then no refraction ray, only total thing is only in reflected only. So that is to get that internal reflection of the total ray into the same medium, to avoid the refraction, the angle of incidence plays major role here. So remember that one, we'll come into that one with the concept of critical angle. Right. So here phi 1 is the angle of incidence, which is the angle between the incident ray and the normal line, and phi 2 is the angle of refraction, that is the angle between the normal line and the refracted ray. Here we are talking the phi 1 and phi 2 with respect to normal line only, right? So from this one we are writing by using Snell's law, n1 sin phi 1 is equal to n2 sin phi 2, where n1 is the refractive index of glass and incidenting in the glass interface here phi 1. So n1 sin phi 1 is equal to n2 sin phi 2, another medium n2, and phi 2 is the refraction in the air medium. So n1 sin phi 1 is equal to n2 sin phi 2 is the Snell's law. This phi 1 and phi 2 are the angles with respect to normal line between the incident and the refracted rays. Remember that one. Now with these basic things we can understand the Snell's law and critical angle. Snell's law states that, so what is phi 1 here? Angle of incidence. Angle of incidence means angle between the incident ray and the normal line, right? Next, phi 2 is angle of refraction, that is angle between the refracted ray and the normal line. So by using these phi 1 and phi 2, we can state the Snell's law as n1 sin phi 1 is equal to n2 sin phi 2. With this basic knowledge, you can do the derivations for critical angle also. So first of all, understand the critical angle definition. Critical angle is nothing but the angle of incidence, that is, it is nothing but phi 1 only, but at which the angle of refraction is 90 degrees. What is the meaning of angle of refraction is 90 degrees? Means the refraction angle is parallel to the material boundary. When the angle of refraction is, when the refracted ray is parallel to the material boundary, that is phi 2 is equal to 90 degrees, then the angle of incidence is called critical angle. So that is coming to this figure. So if we increase this phi 1 such that the angle of refraction is going to be coincide with this material boundary, then the angle between this normal line and this refractor is nothing but 90 degrees. So then such phi 1 is called critical angle. That is the important point. So now we'll talk the things with respect to the critical value, right, or critical angle. Critical angle is nothing but the angle of incidence at which the angle of refraction is 90 degrees, that is parallel to the material boundary. Observe this carefully here. If phi 1 is equal to phi c, that is the incidence angle, that is the angle between the incident ray and the normal line is phi c, that is phi c, we can call that phi 1 is the phi c when some part of the energy is reflected, no problem, and some part of the energy is refracted, but the refracted angle is 90 degrees, that is this refracted angle is making 90 degrees with this normal line. So then we can call this phi 1 as a critical angle here. Phi 1 is nothing but the incidence, critical angle is nothing but the incidence angle phi 1 only, but when the phi 2 is equal to 90 degrees, then such phi 1 is called phi c, or critical angle. So from Snell's law we know that n1 sin phi 1 is equal to n2 sin phi 2. If phi 1 is equal to phi c, then what happens to this phi 2? Phi 2 is equal to 90. Why? Because the critical angle definition is that one. If phi 1 is equal to phi c, that is, if phi 1 is equal to phi c, then phi 2 should be 90 degrees. So I am substituting phi 1 is equal to phi c and phi 2 is equal to 90 degrees, and you know that one sin 90 is equal to 1. So substitute that one here, then sin phi c is equal to n2 by n1 here. So what is this equation? This equation gives what is the critical angle. Phi c is equal to sin inverse of n2 by n1. That is the thing here is uh, the critical angle depends upon the refractiveness of the two materials, glass and air, ratio of those two things. Now observe here why it is important. Why you have to calculate the critical angle? If we instead the angle with less than critical angle, what will happens? Less than critical angle, what will happens? This there is refracted ray and reflected ray. If the incident ray phi 1 is greater than phi c, greater than critical angle, what will happen? See, if it is greater than critical angle, there is no refraction. Why? Because the total ray is going to reflected into this here. Why? Because if I am increasing this phi 1 slowly, then the refracted ray slowly approaches to the material boundary. If you still increase greater than phi c, then it will totally enter into the same medium, into the glass itself. So that's why to 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 having total internal reflection, that is to reflect the total wave into the same medium without any refraction, we have to use the angle here phi 1 which is greater than critical angle phi c. How to know this critical angle for the mediums? So critical angle phi c is equal to sin inverse of n2 by n1. So to design this optical fiber, first of all you can take the materials n2 by n1 such that it should satisfy the phi c critical angle, so that you can know the critical angle. If you know the critical angle, then you can insert the light ray into the fiber such that greater than the critical angle, so that total signal is going to be reflected back. No, there is no refraction is possible. Refraction is not possible means there is no loss of the signal. The total signal is again transferring back into the same medium. So that is important of the critical angle. Now if the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle, see, if the angle of incidence is greater than critical, what will happen? There is no refraction. The total thing is going to be reflected into the same medium back. It is nothing but total internal reflection. That is the definition of total internal reflection. So now we'll see in detail about the total internal reflection definition. When the angle of incidence phi 1 is incident in the glass medium, that is optically denser medium, and if you increase that phi 1 to make larger such that greater than the critical angle, then there is no refraction. The total signal is going to reflect into the same medium here. When phi 1 is becoming larger such that phi 2 approaches 90 degrees, that phi 1 is nothing but the critical angle, right? So I am reading the definition here. When the angle of incidence in an optically denser medium becomes larger, the refracted angle approaches to 90 degrees. That is the first point. If you still more increases that phi 1, then the refracted angle, there is no refraction. The total signal is going to be into reflected. That is beyond that point. If you increase the incidence angle, that is theta phi 1 greater than phi c, no refraction is possible, and light ray becomes totally internally reflected back into the same medium. This is nothing but the total internal reflection. Thank you.